What's up, fellow humans? Welcome back to the channel if you're a returning viewer, and if you're somebody new, welcome to you as well. My name is Caleb, and this channel is all about authentic documentation of our budget-friendly travels and trying to see as much of the world as we can. Today's video in specific is going to be about that budget travel aspect as I kind of go over some of my costs and how I live in Vietnam for 600 USD a month. Currently, I'm in a city called Vung Tau. This is maybe 3 hours away from Ho Chi Minh, the capital. It's a pretty chill spot. If you want to know more about this city specifically, check out last week's video. I kind of give a little bit of a breakdown of some of my thoughts after living here for about a month as I walk around the center area. Anyway, the first thing I want to talk about, I guess, is accommodation. So I'm staying right now in this apartment complex, I guess you could call it. It's called the Song, I think. Here, it's about a 36-floor apartment complex. It's pretty modern, honestly. It uses key cards, and all of the facilities seem like they are pretty well maintained. The first thing is that on the ground floor, I don't know if you can see it, but there are cafes and convenience stores lining the entire base of the building, which makes it really, really convenient. On the fourth floor, actually kind of up there across this bridge, there is a kids pool and kids area, as well as inside there is a recreation, I guess you could call it a rec area, that has like a co-working space, some foosball tables, ping pong tables, things like this. If you want to get out of your apartment and just go to a more open area to work, they got Wi-Fi and stuff. And then on the 36th floor, on the very top, there is a yoga room with mirrors all around if you want to, I don't know, do yoga. There's a pretty complete gym. I use that almost daily just to get some exercise in. And then there is a quite nice infinity pool and saunas as well. I almost forgot. So the whole place, it basically has everything you need. You kind of never need to leave this complex if you don't want to. But we are renting a kind of a small but really nice a two-bedroom apartment for 550 USD a month. This is off Airbnb. If you're gonna stay longer and contact the owner of the place, you can probably work out a slightly better deal if you're gonna stay here for maybe 3 to 6 months with the visa extension. But just if you're gonna stay even 1 month through Airbnb, they offer a discount if you stay for a month or longer in a single place. We were able to rent this place for 550 USD a month. One thing to keep in mind, though, is a lot of Airbnbs or rentals in general, especially for short term here in Asia, is that the electricity is not included. So we usually pay, it depends on how much you use the air conditioner. It is pretty hot here, maybe between 27 to 30 degrees Celsius every day with pretty high humidities, so we definitely use the air conditioner, but we try to minimize it when it's not necessary. Between 40 to 60 USD a month would be an average for an electricity bill here in Vietnam. So let's just say we are paying 600 USD in total for a pretty modern 2-bedroom apartment on the 20th floor of this very modern and nice apartment complex. This is split between 2 people. So if you're a single traveler, you're obviously going to either have to cover that by yourself, or you can definitely find 1-bedrooms or even maybe shared accommodations for as little as 250 to 400 USD a month. Or if you are traveling with a partner, then obviously that would make it more affordable. So I, let's say, spend 300 USD a month for accommodation. The next main thing that everybody usually worries about is food. And I gotta say that Vietnam has some really good food, and Vietnam probably has the most affordable food that I have seen anywhere in all of my life. We traveled to South American countries for like 4 years. We were in Thailand before this, and Vietnam definitely has the most affordable food that I've seen so far. For example, 25,000 dong, which is the local currency here in Vietnam, is equal to 1 USD. And you can easily get a meal from either street food, or if you go to like a grocery store or something, a lot of the times they'll have some pretty solid prepared food already, between maybe 25 to 55,000 dong. This would be between like $1 to $2.50. So that's pretty cheap for a meal, honestly. If you just go to like a random street vendor on the street, you can probably maybe even get something for a little bit cheaper, between 15,000 to 20,000 dong. So you can really, depending on how much you eat, you could probably feed yourself for like 75 cents. That's gotta be one of my favorite things so far about staying here in Vietnam. So let's break that down a little. I'm gonna whip out my calculator here on my phone just for convenience, but let's say I spend $2 per meal on average. So 2 times $3, that would be 6, obviously. Let's do 6 times 30, that's $180 a month. And then if we add the 300, let's do that, plus 300, that brings us up to $480 a month. Let's just add another 50 for accommodation, just in case you're staying on your own and you're gonna pay, let's say, 350 USD for a 1-bedroom. That'll bring us up to 530 USD for food and accommodation. Those are obviously gonna be the big things, right? Anytime that you stay anywhere. As far as fun and other kind of extra expenses. So if you're gonna buy maybe a can of beer, this will be between 15 to 30,000 dong per can. This is like a regular can of beer. The most popular beers are probably Saigon or Tiger beer. These are 25,000 more or less dong per can, but you can get some other beers for as cheap as 15,000 dong. And then if you want something exported like a Heineken or something, it's going to be a little bit more. So you can get a beer for as cheap as 75 cents here at a random convenience store. One note, if you do like wine, that's going to be significantly more expensive. It's not like Spain or like when we were in Argentina or Chile, where you can get a super nice bottle of wine for like $5 or less. Here you're probably going to be spending between $10 to $20 for a nice bottle of wine. But you can get rice wine for super cheap, and you can get beer for super cheap as well. Everybody talks super loud on their phones here, so I hope you guys can hear me still. The next thing I want to mention is, I guess, one of the only costs that you're going to be using probably pretty consistently is travel. And the main way that people get around here is Grab. This is the Asian equivalent of Uber in places like Southern and North America, and it's also super cheap. So Vung Tau, this city, is not really big. It maybe takes 10 to 15 minutes to get from one side to the other, but on average let's say a 12-minute Grab ride is going to cost you 100,000 to 50,000 dong. So to get across the city here, it usually costs us 2 USD. This is pretty cheap. So if you want to go into town, for example, to have some drinks, maybe you're going to spend $2 there, $3 back if it's more late at night and the prices are a little bit higher. And then let's say you buy, I don't know, 5 drinks at $1 each. So you're looking at, what, maybe $10 for a night out? That's pretty decent in my opinion. Depending on how much you drink and where you go, obviously this could go up or down, but that's more or less an average that you could expect. As far as like activities and stuff, at least in this city, there's not too much to do. Looking online, tours could be anywhere between maybe 20 to 30 USD or a little bit more depending on how fancy it is. One thing that we did here in Vung Tau is there's a place called Home Park, which is a kind of amusement park on top of the hill. This cost us, we did this like last month for, I think it was 500,000 dong. And that's like $22 USD more or less. That's the most expensive thing that we've done by far. And this includes the ride up to the top of the mountain and all of the rides and games that are at the top. And I don't know, you might not go there more than once. It's not super spectacular, but that gives you more or less an idea of the kind of costs that you're going to expect per an activity. I didn't mention also, if you want to go to like a sit-down restaurant, it's not going to be that much more expensive. I said that it's maybe like $1 to $3 at a street food, maybe even less. But if you want to go to a sit-down restaurant, I think that we went to a local restaurant and had a sit-down place and had some hot pot and a few drinks, and it was like $7.50 USD for both of us after all. And we went to a pretty nice sit-down restaurant in the mall last weekend as well, and I think the total was $8 or $9 USD. So you can easily go to a dinner for 2 people and spend less than 10 bucks if you want. That's including drinks, under 10 bucks. If you get a bunch of beers, obviously it's going to be more expensive, or a bunch of drinks or something like that. But still, food, this is probably the most affordable place for food that I've ever seen. So overall, you can spend $600 or less a month, depending on accommodations and the lifestyle that you want. But if you are budget travelers like us, you're probably going to love Vietnam because you can make your monthly costs really, really low. And so even if you make, I don't know, maybe 1,000 USD a month, you're going to live really well in Vietnam, and maybe even save money living a pretty good life and saving a few $100s a month if you want. That's one of the biggest misconceptions that I wanted to mention in this video, is that you don't have to spend a lot of money monthly to be a digital nomad. We've been traveling for the past 4 years on maybe $2,000 per month, and we've been able to save a lot of money because of this. Depends on the country, but Vietnam specifically, really affordable. I highly recommend it for any budget traveler, any slow traveler, any traveler at all. It's an awesome place. If you found this video interesting, let me know what you thought in the comments, or if you think prices are higher or lower than what I've mentioned. I've only had experience in this one city, so if you've gone to other places in Vietnam, let me know if you think that it's a little bit more expensive or even cheaper potentially. Like and subscribe if you found this interesting, and if you want to see more content like this. Until next time, guys, peace.